Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A big jump. Winnebago County's COVID positivity rate is up. The health department's director has a warning.
Saying goodbye to a downtown staple. The Rockford Park District building slated to close.
And early voting starts this week in Illinois. There are steps you need to know to make your voice heard in the November election.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Winnebago County hits an unwanted COVID-19 milestone.
The county's 7-day positivity rate hit 8%. Based on state guidelines, the higher rate puts the county into a warning level. If the numbers don't drop, tighter restrictions could be put back in place. Over the last 3 days, 178 new cases of COVID have been reported. There are no new deaths. Winnebago County Health Department Director Dr. Sandra Martell says everyone needs to wear a mask and rethink get-togethers.
I know that people want to get back to normal. I'd like to get back to normal. But we're in a pandemic, and so we have to do things a little differently. And I shouldn't say a little, a lot differently if we're going to get there. But we can do this. We can get through this. And we need to get through it if we want our businesses to survive, if we want our livelihoods to thrive, if we want our children to thrive.
Choice Furniture has been issued a non-compliance notice. It's the first step to get a business to follow mitigation rules, including wearing masks. If businesses don't follow through, they could be forced to shut down.
A program that helps those struggling pay for a critical service in Rockford is extended. The hardship program helps cover the cost of city water bills. The program started in 2018. COVID-19's created more need. Rockford Water increased its budget for the program to $100,000. To apply for help, call Rockford's Human Services Department. You can find that number at mystateline.com.
One person is hurt in an afternoon shooting in Rockford. This happened around 1:30 on North Sunset Avenue near Central and School. Officers found a male victim. He was taken to a local hospital and is expected to be okay. No word on a suspect or what may have led up to the shooting. Police are investigating. Nearby Lewis Lemon Elementary was put on a brief lockdown, but that was quickly lifted.
A weekend arrest sees Rockford police put one of their own in handcuffs. Joshua Sims was booked Saturday. The 29-year-old faces domestic battery and several other charges. Sims is accused of grabbing a woman by the neck and pushing her to the ground in his home. He's being held on a $150,000 bond. Sims is the fourth Rockford police officer to be arrested in the last year. Former Rockhouse officer Eric Thurmond and Officer Daniel Basil both face separate sexual assault charges. Officer Frank Fabiani was charged with misdemeanor battery after he arrested a protester in June. The Rockford man accused of killing a teenager while drunk behind the wheel is formally indicted. A Winnebago County grand jury indicted Keith Wood for aggravated DUI involving death. August 26th, prosecutors say Wood was over the legal limit when he hit another car at the intersection of Central and Riverside. The driver, 18-year-old Damon Williams, died. If convicted, Wood faces up to 14 years in prison. He's due back in court October 8th.
The Rockford Park District makes plans for the future, and they don't include the Riverview Ice House. Executive Director Jay Sandine recommends closing the downtown fixture and expanding the Carlson Ice Arena on Perryville. It's part of the Park District's action plan, which will be presented to the Park District Board next month. They say the building on Madison is 45 years old, calling it well beyond its lifespan. There's no word yet on what would become of the ice house right now. It could be sold or repurposed. The board must approve the closure. We'll have more on the Park District's plans coming up at 6. In just over a month, the nation will go to the polls. But with COVID concerns, many are taking the option to vote early or by mail.
In Illinois, the window to vote early starts Thursday. Dylan Siraki spoke with local election officials. He's here to tell you what to expect.
We're very excited because this kind of kicks off the election season.
Illinois voters will be able to cast their ballots starting this Thursday. Winnebago County Clerk Lori Gummo is anticipating a big crowd on the first day of early voting.
We're getting everything prepared. We're preparing and practicing with our machines and our election equipment, and we have the election judges training in anticipation of Thursday's turnout.
Starting Thursday, Rockford voters can go to the Board of Elections office on 6th Street for early voting. The Winnebago County Administration Building on Elm Street will serve as the early voting location for voters who live outside of city limits.
We're encouraging everybody to participate in this election. It's going to be an historical year.
Thursday also marks the first day election officials can send ballots to people who applied to vote by mail. The Rockford Board of Elections says they received more than 17,000 vote-by-mail applications. Executive Director Stacy Bixby says they're working hard to process all of them and says don't worry if your ballot doesn't arrive right away.
If you've requested a ballot sometime over the last week, your ballot may not be in that first mailing because we had these 17,000 that came in right away. If you don't have it by the 25th or the 26th, don't panic.
Drop boxes are set up outside both polling locations if you don't want to mail in your ballot. Election officials stress that if you applied to vote by mail and change your mind and choose to vote in person, you need to bring that ballot with you to the polling place in order to vote.
So if you've gone to the effort of applying for a ballot to be received at home, make sure that you vote by mail as well.
In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Dylan Saraki.
Later tonight, traffic lights at a major Rockford intersection will be switched off to make emergency repairs. Stop signs will be used to control traffic at East State and Alpine. The change will be in place from 9 p.m. until midnight. An early morning car crash damaged the lights. Drivers are asked to take their time and use caution while repairs are made. A local blood bank says it needs help keeping its shelves stocked. Rock River Valley Blood Center is in need of O negative and all other negative blood types. Right now, the center has less than 1 day supply of those types. A busy weekend for traumas at local hospitals is being blamed. RRVBC needs 700 donors every week to keep up with demand. Appointments are preferred, but walk-ins are okay as long as social distancing requirements can be maintained.
The forest preserves of Winnebago County get a big addition. The property is located southwest of Rockford near South Meridian and Simpson Roads. It cost $3.5 million, a reduced sale price from Funderburg Farms, and a grant from the Illinois Clean Energy Community Foundation helped pay for it. The plan is to restore the more than 850 acres to natural prairie and savanna. Eventually, trails and other amenities will be added.
It doesn't come along very often to have this type of property become a forest preserve or this size of property. So all of us here at the Forest Preserves are extremely excited and looking forward to doing work on the property and preserving and protecting it and making it available for the citizens.
The new property marks Winnebago County's 44th preserve. President Trump says he will announce his pick to fill Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat by this Friday or Saturday.
Democrats are again threatening impeachment as they try and derail his efforts. Lauren Blanchard has details, plus more on funeral services for the late justice.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg will lie in repose at the Supreme Court Wednesday and Thursday, placed at the top of the steps of the building for the public to say goodbye. Then she will lie in state in the U.S. Capitol on Friday before burial next week at Arlington National Cemetery. Friday or Saturday is also when President Trump says he will announce his pick to fill the vacancy just 6 weeks from the election.
5 women are being looked at and vetted very carefully. They're all respected.
The confirmation battle expected to be contentious.
Already, some of the same individuals who tried every conceivable dirty trick to obstruct Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh are lining up to proclaim the third time will be the charm.
Democrats say it should wait until after the election.
Reporters will no doubt cover the political machinations here in Washington. But for hundreds of millions of Americans, this vacancy on the Supreme Court puts everything on the line.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she has not taken impeachment proceedings off the table if the White House goes forward.
It doesn't even make sense for the president to be exercising his constitutional authority. Obviously cannot be an impeachable offense.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
An absolutely gorgeous afternoon out there. A live look with our Marcel Skytrack camera out of the Poplar Grove Airport. We've had just a little bit of that hazy sunshine out there, but we'll hang on to the clear sky here as we go through the rest of this evening. 73 degrees right now in Freeport, 75 in Rockford, 74 in Rochelle, 72 our temperature in Belvedere. Our weather watcher Bob also in Rockford checking in this evening, 75 degrees and no rainfall. In fact, we have been fairly dry for the past, well, week to week and a half. It wasn't until almost a week ago where we had that really rainy stretch, and things are actually going to stay fairly dry even for the next several days. Relative humidity has been low. Our temperatures have been going up, but our dew point numbers have been down, so that's kept that relative humidity value fairly low these last several days. Maybe you've noticed a little extra dry skin from the weekend and even this afternoon. Another thing we've got going on, it's harvest time. Folks getting out with the beans, corn silage. We've got perfect weather for that. In fact, we are going to stay fairly dry. Temperatures will be back into the upper 70s. Really no chance for rainfall, maybe just a couple of sprinkles coming in late on Thursday, but I do not foresee that impacting any of the harvest time. And that's a good reminder too, with us getting a little bit further into the fall season, you might see a bit more farm equipment out on the roads. So just remember, be patient, be cautious as they move from field to field, because we've got at least a few months to go with that. As far as any rain and temperatures warming up, we won't see much rainfall, and our temperatures are actually going to warm here these next couple of days. Now, the only place we've got a little bit of rain up to our north and even a couple of thunderstorms too. There's a storm system passing to our north here this afternoon and evening. So what that'll do is just bring in a couple extra clouds as we go through the night, and that is pretty much it. We might see some of that linger even as we go into tomorrow afternoon, but with that southerly wind, temperatures will still make it back into the mid and upper 70s. So we'll actually be pretty seasonable, just a little bit above average. No significant warm up here coming up as we welcome in the first official day of fall tomorrow afternoon. Now we might see the numbers dip just a little bit on Wednesday. Futurecast keeps a lot of that cloud cover to the south of us Wednesday, but I think we start to see some of that creep northward as a bit of moisture from Tropical Storm Beta lifts northward as that moves on shore here this evening. Downgrade, well, not, I shouldn't say downgraded. Winds over the weekend were 60 miles per hour. Winds now at about 45 miles per hour, so it continues to weaken as it's coming in onshore. This is going to be a big heavy rain producer for the Texas coastline as well as the Louisiana coastline, but we're kind of sandwiched in between these two systems towards the middle of the week. The remnants of Tropical Storm Beta will work to the east and the southeast, and then we've got a cold front up to our northwest, both of which really don't impact us, and really all we get from that is just a little bit more cloud cover. You see the rainfall staying to the south and then the rain up to the north associated with that cold front. So let's talk about temperatures tonight, down to 52 degrees. A little hazy out there this evening, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we're back up to 78 for the afternoon with that wind coming in from the southwest, and that southwest direction is what is going to help bump those temperatures up. Again, we'll see them dip down just a little bit midweek, but then warming by the end of the week. Now, once we get into a week's time, next week, we actually get this big dip in the jet stream, which will allow a much cooler air mass to arrive. Could bring those highs back down into the 60s. We could be dealing with the wind and even a rainy pattern too, just within a week's time. But by the end of the week, temperatures back up near that 80-degree mark. 80 degrees on Friday, Saturday, low 80s. Could see some rainfall Saturday night into Sunday, and then you see that drop towards the latter half of the weekend, guys, and then into next week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Another Bears game has given us a lot to digest on this Monday. A few thoughts first about the offense. Mitch Trubisky was hot and cold again yesterday, of course. I can't hold the two interceptions against him too badly, though. The first one was deflected off Allen Robinson. The second was a 50-50 ball that Robinson didn't catch, and the DB made a heck of a play on. Trubisky seems to throw better when he's under center because when he has momentum dropping back to pass, he plants his back foot firmly and gets more zing on his passes. Keep him under center more, let him run with the ball more. David Montgomery there showing he's very good at catching the football. He's the type of running back Matt Nagy wants for this offense. The tight ends, though, still need to be more productive. They need to have their number called more often. On defense, Kyle Fuller continues to play like the best cornerback in the NFL. He's seemingly been better than he was the last 2 years. And rookie Jalen Johnson looks like the real deal. Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn both had sacks yesterday, but you wonder with all the miles they have on them and with the violent style that they play with, can they stay healthy enough to keep making those big plays all season? As far as the Packers, Aaron Jones is proving that his numbers last year were no fluke. He's also proving that he's one of the top 5 all-around running backs in the NFL, and he's worthy of a contract similar to what the Vikings gave Dalvin Cook and the Saints gave Alvin Kamara. The Packers will have to dish out some money for this guy because they need him. And then there's James Robinson, coming off his first 100-yard rushing game and getting his first touchdown for the Jaguars. The Rockford native doesn't have breakaway speed. We saw it on that play when he was caught from behind on a 39-yard run. but his incredible vision allows him to see the holes as well as any running back can. And his burst through the holes, which you saw there, is incredible, and he has excellent hands for catching passes. He, by the way, will get some national exposure this week when the Jaguars host the Dolphins on Thursday night.
Our first more interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More will stay nice and quiet, at least locally for us. We'll get a little extra cloud cover in here as we go through the overnight tonight and to start off our Tuesday. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures tonight down into the lower 50s. This morning we woke up in the 40s, so last time we'll see those 40s, at least this week. Temperatures back up to 78 degrees once we head towards Wednesday afternoon. A little dip in the numbers as we bring in a few more clouds Wednesday, Thursday, but we're back into the 80s Friday and Saturday. We'll get some rainfall, though, for the weekend. Might not be a lot, but you see the numbers dip by early next week.
All right. Thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending a little time with us. Stay safe.